Hello, good people. Been a couple of days since I last posted. I'm sure all of my one subscriber, was it two, would have missed me. Just a few words I was contemplating on these core repressions that really has whet my taste buds for a deeper kind of healing. I really think this is powerful work, and I've been somebody who's been involved in all kinds of practices for many, many years, so it's very difficult for me to know what it would be like for somebody perhaps who's very new to practices to delve into this kind of territory. But this is the territory of really feeling the emotions that we've locked out, which is a bit of a strange concept, I think, for our whole society, because we just don't acknowledge a lot of emotions, to be honest. I think we just think it's part of what someone's doing in the moment, which is kind of true, isn't it? I mean, if someone's crying, that's what's happening in the moment. But you think somehow people are in control of that or something? I don't quite understand what we think. I could probably write a book about what I think we think about things. It's fascinating, isn't it? And just to see all the kind of weirdness that we've come up with to try to explain. And it might just be my way of explaining stuff and how I've, tried to navigate this experience through various folk I've met, I suppose, and then just making sense of it all through that. Anyway, emotions, yes. So I think most of us are in touch with some. And I know that I can cry. I can cry. I'm not great, but I can. And I can show that to people because I've done it. It's in my recent history. I can cry in front of a crowd. I can cry. So that really is a sign that I'm not repressing crying. But, and here's the big but, we're often defaulting to emotions that we feel safe with. So beginning to explore the idea of really seeing in any given moment, but particularly those stressful moments, those triggered moments, am I angry in those moments? And can I express that? And I was thinking the other day, like, how would my life be different if in those moments where I was very defensive, very weak, feeling very threatened, I was in fact expressing my anger. What kind of difference would that have made? And really, of course, it's all speculation. Who knows? But I feel like my life would have gone a very different way, a very different way, to where it has gone. If all those years back when I was getting bullied in school, and I say this as a white person, I think everybody gets bullied to some degree at school. This was more of a systemic bullying. It was not me being targeted in the slightest. It was certain kids who would just pick on seemingly weaker people, and I was the type who would repress anger. I would not get angry about that. I wouldn't want them to see me angry or show any kind of aggression to them because, and I remember at the time thinking, like, they won't stop. They won't stop. If I do fight back, they won't stop. They won't be able to stop. They will just kill me. So I think that was really one of the many roots of my anger repression, just a complete need to survive at all costs. And of course, at the time, I knew nothing better or, other than that small amount of awareness around it. I didn't go to anyone to say, what do you think about this? Do you think I should stand up for myself? Do you think I should, what? I just didn't say any of it. I just survived, and was mostly happy as well. So it worked a treat. And it's only in recent years that I've become to discover that maybe all of my, or at least most of my suffering now is linked to this core repression of anger, which of course in many people is totally allowed. And I think they have their own repressions that perhaps they need to look at, but that's not for me to say or do for them. But just a fascinating topic, and just to see about this defaulting. Do we default perhaps when we notice a little bit of anger beginning to brew, or whatever emotion it is that we don't want to feel? Does something else come up? Is it a story about ourselves, that how we're weak, or something else? Or is it just another emotion that's safer? And really noticing this is fascinating stuff. Absolutely fascinating. As I say, think of the reactions, the different reactions you get to emotions, and how our system has learned that some are appropriate and others aren't. And just not even that some are appropriate at some times and others are appropriate at other times. It's just like some are just no. You do not do that. You do not tell people that you're angry. You do not show you're angry to people. There's no good in that. At least that was my conclusion. It'd be interesting to hear from people who don't suppress anger. I think those people don't necessarily have a big voice in our society, because I think our society is very, especially here in the UK, very anger repressing. Did I just say anger repressing? We repress anger a lot. That is my view. Of course, there are angry people, but I think we're very frightened of them. On almost societal level, it's like, whoa, what's going on here? These people are out of control. What's going on? So, it seems like a big piece in this puzzle of emotions and unlocking our potential. Just think of the power that you can command when you finally get in touch with these emotions. Whatever emotion it is that doesn't seem to be able to be felt. How much freedom there is in that. Wow. So, wow. What freedom to not have to default. Just the freedom in that, is enough to just be ourselves in the moment. Just be angry when we need to be angry, and sad when we need to be sad, and joyful when we need to be joyful, and not have to protect ourselves and our hiding from this stuff. It's great. Our system is so good at protecting us. It's done it forever and a day, and I think we're just coming around to the realization that it's just not gonna work. It's that we're not gonna find happiness in a system that just wants to survive. We have to go deep now, people. I finally said people. We're people. We've got to embrace this stuff if we want happiness. And you can have what you like. You may be happy. Good luck to you. But for me, I think this is a kind of just an evolution. It's just realizing there's no way this current setup is going to make me happy, or anybody really. And the good news is there's a way out now. There are tools out there. There are people out there who are willing to help really settle us into a better way of being. And there are degrees of that as well. You can take this as far or as little as you want to. But the main thing is that, as I say, there are people here to help now. In the old days, I'm afraid, I think it was just conform. Somebody would say, I'd like to, unleash my potential. I think people were like, I don't know what you're talking about. Or they would try and intellectualize that. It would never have been about unleashing your anger. unleashing the emotion you've never wanted to feel since you were 2. It's like, woohoo! Yeah, that's what you've got to face. then you can have all the goodies to follow. But unfortunately, you are going to have to face this thing that you didn't want to face. But we can get real about that, and that's fine. So yeah, I thought I'd pop on, say hello. Peace out to you all. I know that many people watch this video, and it will go far and wide. So all the best.